points away from breaking the all-time Gonzaga scoring record. As Gonzaga retains possession, we're underway. They go right to Ejim in the high post. And he's opposite to Allie Turner, who struggled a bit recently. Dalton for three, and she's more than capable of making that. She gets it to fall for the first points of the game.
Having Dalton, she's able to play a lot of different positions for the Zags as well, but good to see her get going from the perimeter.
Here's Anaya James. 15 points in 4 straight games for her. She has been on a roll. A slow start to start the year. Also getting hot at the right time for the Tigers. Here's Radishai spinning, and Ejim comes down with the rebound. Ejim leading the WCC in rebounds per game as well, about 8.5 per game. There's O'Connor on the drive, met by a double team. Turner searching. O'Connor. Here's Dalton again. She'll try another one and gets it to go. 2 straight threes for Taylor Dalton.
The Zags are doing a great job of getting themselves into the key, which draws that help side defense. Dalton doing a great job of taking advantage of it and knocking those threes down early.
Here's Liz Elliott. James working on Little. This is going to be a tough task for Little all game, but good defense there. Out of bounds will stay with Pacific.
Esther's one of the better defenders that the Zags have. She does a great job of keeping a gap and using her length to just bother the people that she's guarding. And I think you saw it come into play there.
St. Mary's transfer Taylor Dalton, the first 6 points of the game for the Bulldogs. Her 12th game back after missing a big chunk the early season with injury. And there's Liz Smith with a good-looking jumper. Smith and James are going to be a handful all game for Gonzaga defenders. There's O'Connor with the jumper. No good. So here's Ejim. High post against Elliott. This is going to be a good matchup all game. Jumper is good. And that's just too easy for Yvonne Ejim, who has been on a tear recently.
I think she's added that to her game. I won't say added necessarily, but she's become more efficient from driving from the high post and making really good reads for herself when she gets there.
And there she is on the defensive end, last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the WCC. 27 points a game over the last 4 games for Yvonne Ejim. This is first-team All-American stats she's been putting up all year. As we take another look at her last jumper.
You see, last year I feel like when she would get in there, she would be a little bit impatient, a little bit uncertain. She just has so much more confidence and poise when she is going off the dribble this season, and I think it's added to her offensive numbers. Nearly
21.5 points per game now, 10th in the country in scoring. Here's O'Connor from 3, no good. O'Connor's shooting 45% on the season, the best for Gonzaga. Here's James operating. Another jumper is good. If James and Liz Smith are getting it going, that's going to be trouble for the Bulldogs. An 8-4 lead for the Zags. Dalton had the 2 early threes. Liz Smith's now guarding up on her. Here's Ejim operating into the paint, and she's fouled. Yvonne Ejim shoots a lot of free throws as well this season. That's another reason why she's been able to score over 21 points per game.
I think by her posting in that mid-post area, I don't know if Elliott is as comfortable coming out and guarding her from there, so it's a very uncomfortable position to be in for Elliott. I think her teammates need to do a better job of letting her know that they have the gaps covered, because once Ejim does her little jab step and she's getting downhill, she's really, really tough to stop.
78% from the line this season as she knocks down the first one. So 4 early points for Yvonne Ejim. Had 11 in the first quarter on Thursday against San Diego. They had trouble stopping her. 25 points and 8 rebounds in that one. Double team, but it will stay with Pacific. We'll see a lot of the zones, a lot of presses from Coach Lisa Fortier today.
Yeah, Coach Fortier likes to, after made free throws, come out with some sort of full court pressure, whether that's just man-to-man extended or you saw a little 1-2-2 zone where they're trying to trap in the corners of the backcourt.
Lauren Glazier checks into the game for the Tigers, and that's a 3 from Sydney Ward. She doesn't like to shoot threes all that much for Pacific. The Tigers are knocking down shots early on.
looking at our stats, I think that's Sydney Ward's first made 3 of the season.
They're going to let her shoot that. She hasn't made all season, but right now the Tigers, as we said, making shots as Bree Salenbein checks in along with Anesh Betancourt. Salenbein, her 9th game after tearing her ACL for the 3rd time last season. She's been a little cold this season, just 27% from 3. But when she comes in, that's when Fortier likes to put her at the top of the zone or press. Here's Turner. Mid-range jumper is good. And if Glazier's going to give her that, Turner's going to take that all day. Again, Turner has been struggling a little bit the last 2 games. 3 for 13 on Thursday against San Diego and 2 for 7 against Pepperdine. But the freshman is 17th in the country in threes as Dalton comes away with the steal. As Turner gets it poked away by Smith. But Dalton again, the 2 early threes and a steal, and she played really well against San Diego as well on Thursday. 9 points and 7 rebounds. And Fortier had good things to say about her. She's been filling in the starting lineup. Maud Hybens has been out now 5 straight games. So here's Turner for 3. And that's a good sign for the freshman as she looks to get back on track. She's had a spectacular freshman season.
Great play calls. Very hard to guard that block-to-block screen because you have to honor Egypt down low. But then that little inner screen for Turner to knock down that 3 in the corner.
Ward misses on that one.
And like you said, Kyle, if Ward wants to shoot 3s.
And that's an easy layup, but smoked by Salenbein. Again, good defense by Gonzaga. Here comes Smith down the lane, and she's fouled. So unfortunate break there for Gonzaga. They ran the floor very well as Bree Salenbein, but Liz Smith will now go to the line.
And that's the Pacific playbook. They want to push in transition. They're really good about kicking it up ahead or one guard just going coast to coast. So when you do have a miss like that, that just spurs that offensive transition. You have to do a good job of transitioning defensively and slowing that ball down. Great job by Liz to get herself to the free throw line.
Jamie Kent, and Nia Lowry checking into the game for Pacific. They sub early and often. You said they have that fast pace. As Smith knocks down the first one. 13.8 points a game to lead the way for the Tigers this season, and 80% from the line. She knocks both down. Still a 15-9 lead for the Zags. Some pressure from Pacific, similar to what the Bulldogs like to do on defense. Turner seeing the double team. Approaching 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Turner with 5 early points. Here's Betancourt from 3. No good. And that's off of Lowry, so Zags will retain possession. And we'll see a timeout. So the other 5 media timeout here from the McCarthy Athletic Center. The Bulldogs with a 15-9 lead early in the first quarter.
San Diego winning the title here in the tournament of the West Coast Conference. USF Dogs have won the West Coast Conference tournament. Gonzaga celebrates another championship.
The Pilots do it again! Your WCC tournament champions back-to-back.
Get ready for the West Coast Conference basketball tournament in Las Vegas. 22 teams will compete. 2 teams will emerge as champions. Don't miss a minute of the action. Secure your tickets today at WCCsports.com.
Jersey Mike slices your sub right in front of you, see? The slicer, the meat and cheese. It has a rhythm.
This is the rhythm of the slice. The slice. Oh yeah. The rhythm of the slice. This is the rhythm of the slice. The slice. Oh yeah.
Order for Danny? Sliced right in front of you. It's the Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go, make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Introducing CU1 High Yield Checking, the account that rewards you for everyday banking. Earn up to 5.25% APY when you make qualifying transactions each month. No minimum or opening balance required. Get started at cu1.com/high yield checking.
If you've ever raised your hand, you know it takes courage. The courage to risk everything, to offer help, to go first. The courage to reach for the stars. But imagine how much easier it will be to raise your hand with the confidence of a Gonzaga degree.
Well, last season, Shaq, when Pacific came to the Kennel, they got walloped. 104-39 defeat. Gonzaga had a school record 19 threes, the largest margin of victory over a D1 opponent, and the most points under Lisa Fortier. You got to think that they kind of have that in the back of their heads for this one.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're remembering that last season and not very happy with how they came in here and performed. And their coaching staff is going to do everything that they can to make sure that happens again. It's also hard, like you said, when the Zags hit 19 threes.
New look team coming back from last year's O'Connor down the lane. Can't get the layup to go. Scramble for the rebound, loose ball. Sydney Ward gets on it, and it will be a jump ball. Zags missing a few looks at the rim so far to start this game. Possession arrow going to Pacific. Sydney Ward's been all over the court so far. 3 points, 2 rebounds for her.
A long, active guard that can help you out on both ends of the floor, especially rebounds. But like you see there, getting yourself on the ground, maintaining possession for the Tigers.
Here's Daria Nestrov, who checked into the game. The little guard going to the rim. Can't get it to go.
Good box out there by Allie Turner.
Here's Betancourt. The UConn transfer played 53 games for UConn, her first 2 seasons of eligibility. Turner down low to Little. And a nice defensive play again from the Tigers, but this time the Bulldogs will retain possession. Little not known for her scoring, again, out there mainly for defense, but she plays a big role for this team.
Wears a few different hats, like you said, the most important one probably being defensive, but she's also a very underrated rebounder on both ends of the floor. The Tigers, however, are doing a great job of flying around, lots of deflections, just kind of disrupting the flow of the Zags offense.
Zavon Ejim checks back into the game. Betancourt on the drive, out to Salenbein. Long 3 is no good. And Radicai, the rebound, just came back in the game as well. Here's Little on James. We'll see this matchup all night. Here's Radicai. Just 1 3-point attempt all season for her. Good defense from the Bulldogs. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. A nice pass inside, but smoked the layup was Jamie Kent. So the Bulldogs catch a break. Played good defense for about the first 25 seconds of the shot clock before letting Gatwin get through. Here's Little matchup with Elliott. Moving it around to Ejim, inside, and she's fouled. Jamie Kent with the foul on Yvonne Ejim, and she will return to the line.
Zags did a great job there, just moving the ball around, being patient, entering it into Ejim. The tough thing about guarding Ejim is she makes you work for the full 30 seconds, and it is really exhausting. So I thought they did a great job of just matching her physicality, but once she gets it, she's just so strong and athletic that she's able to still get a shot off.
Now 3 for 3 from the line, up to 5 points. Zavon Ejim. Against Portland, a really important game. As we saw in the WCC standings, she had a career-high 35 points in the game-winning bucket. Since then, she has been on a tear.
Truly, that game against Portland was the definition of putting your team on your back, and she definitely willed the Zags to that victory in Portland.
Now up to 6 for Ejim. Here's Smith, Betancourt on her. James. She likes that mid-range, passes it up. Good defense by the Bulldogs inside. Radicai misses. Rebound by Elliott, but knocked out of bounds. Again, active hands, we talked about it for Pacific. That's what they like to do, but so far the Bulldogs doing that as well on the defensive end.
Gonzaga bigs have a tough job of blocking out. Pacific is a pretty good offensive rebounding team, so great job by Betancourt there to get in there, dig down, it's called, and get a hand on the ball to at least prevent offensive rebound in a bucket.
James for 3 over Salenbein, no good. That's the Little with the board. And here comes Betancourt. Nia James will take those threes all day on offense. She really has an offensive bag, and there's Ejim on the inside. Now, this is bad news for Pacific. If Ejim can get it going like this, she's seen some easy looks in the interior.
She's definitely a player that you need to guard with everybody. So it's not just a one-on-one matchup, because she's going to win 99% of those. So you have to make sure that the help side is loaded up early and often.
Looking for Elliott in the post. Not there. Bradshaw working on O'Connor. Good defense from O'Connor. Here's Glazier from the mid-range. That's where she likes to live. But misses there. Betancourt on the drive. O'Connor mid-range. No good. Tough start for O'Connor. 0 for 4 from the field. As here comes Smith, and that's what she likes to do, all the way to the rim, but misses it.
That's where she thrives. The Zags have to do a better job of somebody picking her up early, but also you can't just run back into the key. You got to come out and stop that ball.
Nice pass from Salenbein inside, but a charge taken by Elizabeth Elliott. Good heads-up play from her.
Great job to slide over. Salenbein leaves her feet to make that pass. Elliott does a great job of getting her feet set.
Salenbein, Betancourt, and Little take a break to see Elliott there. Again, missed a lot of January with a knee injury, just recently came back. Over 13 points a game as well for Pacific this year, big part of the team. Foul inside, looks like Ejim was battling in there. O'Connor as well, and they will give it to Claire O'Connor. That's her first. And O'Connor, late in the game against San Diego, made a nice Euro step move, but came down on that ankle. Did not play the rest of the game. As here's Elliott on the inbound, a nice play for Pacific and the bucket. McKinley Dalen checking into the game for the first time as well for the Bulldogs. She got the start last game against San Diego when Little was out. Looking again for Ejim. Operating. Jumper is good. Too easy for Yvonne Ejim. She's already up to 10 points in the first quarter.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Kyle. She makes it look so easy. She logs a lot of minutes. She's guarding Elliott, who's big and physical as well, and then just still able to be efficient and have a really nice touch at the rim.
Perfect from the floor. 3 for 3 from the field. 4 for 4 from the line. Here's Radachai, tough shot. Dalton comes away with the rebound. Up ahead, O'Connor. She takes it in, fouled, just rolls off. But free throws for Claire O'Connor. The Zags are pushing the pace well here, counteracting the Pacific pace. So they now build on a 10-point lead with 25 seconds to go. As Little checks back into the game.
Good job by O'Connor to push that pace, trying to attack. Dalen was running as the lead post. I think she's got to bump out a little bit. You had Vonnie running the left wing as if she was a guard, which is fine. She's capable of doing that. But Dalen was kind of running right in front of O'Connor. If she spaces out to the left alleyway, maybe you have a 2-on-1 situation. But great job by Claire of, using her footwork to get that shot off.
And 45% from 3, but just 65% from the line for O'Connor, but she makes both. Betancourt comes back into the game for her. Shot clock is off for Pacific as we wind down the end of the first quarter. Nia James waiting. Down to 10 seconds.
Zags transition from a man there into a zone, hopefully trying to mess up the play call for the Tigers, but it doesn't matter when you knock down a mid-range jumper.
All scores so far, perfect from the field.
Just another Saturday for Ejim, just coming into her kennel and just dominating all over the floor. The Tigers definitely have to slow her down if they want to cut into this lead.
Here's James. Nice pass down low and a layup and one. That's Liz Elliott, and a nice pass from Nia James. good start to the quarter for Pacific, who shot just 33% from the field in that first quarter.
Great job of getting into the key. Elliott has really good footwork there, able to protect the ball, using that rim to protect as she does a reverse. Takes a little bit of contact as well.
Just 64% foul shooter, and she misses there. Here comes Allie Turner for 5 first quarter points for her. Here's Turner, Nia Lowry guarding her. Nice defense from Elliott. Dalen, who operates mostly from the high post. Here's Ejim, she can shoot the 3. Rims out, but it will stay with Gonzaga. Her first miss of the game.
Zag guards, I think they need to do a better job of waiting. They're running this continuous ball screen action, but it's kind of turning into just a little faux exchange because their posts aren't able to get their feet set and really make contact on those screens.
Turner trying to look for a 3. Again, 17th in the country and made 3-pointers as a freshman. That's a really impressive statistic for her. She moves it around for Ejim, who'll have to take another 3, and this time it's good. 13 points for Yvonne Ejim.
She's already scary to defend, but if she starts doing that more consistently, she's going to be unstoppable in my eyes. And she's shot both of those 3-pointers with a lot of confidence and a lot of good hands and feet coordination.
Here comes Turner off the steal. Finds Dalen inside and fouled by Nia Lowry. So nice defense inside. The Zags have been able to force turnovers. That was the 3rd for Pacific. So you take another look at the Ejim 3.
And that's not a wide open catch and shoot 3. Elliott actually does a great job of coming out and contesting that. But like I said, if Ejim's shooting those with confidence where it is a contested shot, she's scary.
Dalen misses the first. Got her only start of the season against San Diego. The absence of Little and Hybens. She gets the second one.
I think Dalen's starting to settle down into her role a little bit more. She's doing a great job of getting some important rebounds on both ends of the floor. She's capable of hitting down that mid-range, and like you see, they're attacking in transition.
Reese Sallenbein checks back into the game for Dalen. Here's Elliott out of the high post, a nice pass inside. Ward is going to shoot it again. This time it's off. Again, 0 for 6 from 3 on the season coming into today. She connected on her first triple, now 1 for 3 on the game. Good defense from Anaya James. Her and Smith averaged well over 2 steals per game this season, and here's Smith from 3, no good. Ward with the offensive rebound.
And again, the defensive transition by the Zags very poor there. You have Liz Smith with the ball in her hands, and she walks into a 3. They got lucky that she didn't knock that down.
A good defense by Ejim on James down low, and a foul from Anaya James, possibly a frustration foul. Just 1 for 4 from the field so far today.
The Tigers as a team do a good job of getting steals and getting deflections, so maybe a little bit over eager there, reaching across the body of Salamina as she's bringing the ball up. But definitely a part of their defensive scheme to pressure you and make you uncomfortable.
James had 19 against Washington State and 24 against Oregon State in an overtime victory for Pacific. Here's Little. Cross court to Dalton. Good defense by Nestorov up there. Under 10 on the shot clock. Turner's going to have to operate. She shoots the mid-range. Well short. Might have been tipped by Jamie Kent, and it will be Pacific ball. Nice defense from Pacific on that possession.
Yeah, I'd say the last few times on the court, they're doing a good job of making the Zags take quick shots, but at the end of their shot clock.
Here's Kent. Nice pass inside. She misses the layup. Soundbind over to Dalton, looking inside for Ejim. She can't get it to fall. Rebound for Liz Smith.
Looked like Ejim there was trying to avoid some of that contact, but she's been doing a good job of getting herself to the free throw line, so I'd love to see her make that a power bounce and just go through somebody's chest.
Nia Lowry missing the 3 there. Ejim with the rebound. Up to 4 rebounds now for Ejim. Here's Turner. Constant pressure from Liz Smith. Salabine with the jumper. She gets fouled, and she will head to the line. And Salabine more than capable as a shooter. It's her 9th game back as she heads to the line. Eight for 10 this season for Bree. But again, 25 points and 12 rebounds. Her senior year down in Michigan, she won Gatorade Player of the Year. She has just really struggled with injuries. 3 torn ACLs. She just came back after Christmas. She's still trying to get her groove back.
She adds a different dynamic for the Zags on both offensively and defensively. One of the top recruits that this program's ever seen come to campus, and her battle with injuries was really, really unfortunate because she's a great three-point shooter, a long, tall guard, capable of defending multiple positions. So it's good to see her back out there and healthy.
She misses both. An 80% free throw shooter coming into today's game. Still a 12-point lead for the Bulldogs. Tigers shooting just 29% from the field. Nice defense inside by Ejim as she blocks Liz Smith down low.
And that's a rarity in itself, right? Ejim's out there guarding the Pacific point guard, able to keep her in front. She does get beat a little bit. Liz gets a step on her there, but able to use her length, be smart, keep her hands up, and block that at the rim.
She's WCC Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. Lowry misses the jumper. Betancourt looking to push. Here's Turner. Inside, a nice move from Allie Turner with the left. Now 7 points for the freshman and a timeout on the court. Coach Bradley Davis wants to talk things over for Pacific. But Allie Turner, again, 7 points. Struggled a little bit the last couple of games, but 3 for 4 today as the Zags build a 14-point lead.
Jersey Mike's freshly slices it right in front of you. The authentic Jersey way. You can't fake that. And look, you can fake a lot of stuff these days. You can fake my outfit, but you can't fake freshly sliced turkey. You can fake these haunches, but you can't fake freshly sizzled bacon. Nay, you just can't fake a freshly sliced Jersey sub. It's nice to be back in my real body. Number 13, please. Made the authentic Jersey way since 1956. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits.
San Diego winning the title here in the tournament.
Good morning, everybody. Nothing like the Jersey Mike's morning prep. The sizzling bacon, the slicing of the tomatoes, the bopping of the fresh lettuce.
Danny, what are you doing up there?
I've been living up here for months.
Got a package from Mr. DeVito?
Oh, my bacon sniffing horn. Oh, smell that bacon. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, now we're talking. Freshly prepped every morning. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Oh, welcome back to Spokane. But over the break, a Gonzaga student comes out and drills a half-court shot. Unbelievable from her first attempt. I think she won over $1,500 on that shot. Amazing stuff during the media timeout, or the timeout from Bradley Davis. But I mean, do you think you could do that first attempt?
I was never a great half-court shooter. Like, we would do it at the end of every shoot-around on game days, and I have a horrible, horrible record of half-court shots. So she's 1 for 1 today. She's beat me for sure.
That's unbelievable during the break. But back to game action and jump ball. Nesh Betancourt defending against Liz Elliott. Possession will go to the Zags.
It's got to be frustrating when you call that timeout, unable to get a shot off. Instead, you kind of dribble into traffic. Zags do a good job of collapsing there and causing that jump ball to happen.
Over a 4-minute scoring drought now for Pacific. So here's Dalton. She's met by Elliott. O'Connor looking inside for Ejim. Nice move inside, but good defense from Pacific and a steal by Lowry. Third turnover of the game for the Bulldogs. So here's Nesterov. Shortest player on the court at 5'4", being guarded by Claire O'Connor. Here's Smith, 6 points to lead the way for the Tigers. Open three, and that's good. You cannot let Liz Smith have that much space. Now up to 9 points for her. And a foul up front by Nia Lowry guarding Nesh Betancourt. But that's just lackluster defense, and that's the first points, again, in over 4 minutes for Pacific.
Yeah, the Zags are icing here, so Betancourt's got to do a better job. You do want to kind of put your backside on the screen so that you're forcing them away from it. That's what icing is. You're trying to corral them to the baseline, but you can't leave so much space that they can reject the screen into that uncontested three-point attempt. So she's got to get in the pocket a little bit more. Ejim could maybe take a step up as well to contest. But like you said, you want to squeeze there. Can't be so lackluster with that defense.
Well, Ejim will get a breather with 13 points as Little returns to action. Here's Turner. Liz Smith is a tenacious defender. Allie Turner has had trouble getting separation, but a nice pass inside, and Dalton now up to 8 points after 2 early threes.
I think that's an underrated part of Dalton's game. She moves so well without the ball. So Nesterov got caught watching what was happening on the right wing there, and Dalton takes advantage, makes a great cut.
Nice entry pass into Liz Elliott to respond.
Elliott does such a great job of working you up high and playing for angles. So when you're playing against a big that's really good at that, you have to make sure that your help side is in place early and very communicative so you know where to force her into.
Perfect 3 for 3 from the field, 6 points for Elliott.
Tigers are doing a great job of corralling the Zags into that short corner area where you don't have a lot of room to make plays for yourself or for your teammates. So the Zags have to maybe prod that baseline if they're going to reject their screens, but have a better concerted effort to cross over and get yourself back towards the middle.
Well, a nice deflection from Anaya James. Here she is coming up the court. Jumper over Little, but that's a nice contest from Little. Now just 1 for 5 from the floor is Anaya James. Little at 6'2", that length can really make a difference, and a nice pass inside, and Ejim with the easy finish.
Ejim doing her work early. Great job by Little, who's playing the other post right now, to rise and then just fire that into her for a layup.
Well, that was Stella Zabo checking into the game for the first time for Pacific and missing the 3. Salenbein, baseline, can't get it to go. Ejim, offensive rebound. Out to Turner, she got it. Allie Turner now up to 10 points, but that was all created by Ejim getting that offensive rebound. And here's Smith, quick trigger.
Again, I think Coach Bradley a bit frustrated with that. There's no ball movement. The defense doesn't have to work. I think the Tigers can get something better than that.
An offensive foul will be called. I believe it's Ejim. It is on Yvonne Ejim. That's going to be her second. That's going to be something to monitor as the half goes on. As Radishai checks back into the game. And Bradley Davis, rapid fire with these substitutions for Pacific. Pacific 2 of their last 12 from the field. Struggling to score on the inside especially. Here's James. Looking for Radishai inside. Can't get it. Here's Elliott on the low post. Good entry pass and the finish from Liz Elliott.
I thought that was great defense by the Zags. They were flying around, switching where necessary.
Again, and Nia James just everywhere on defense. Deflections and steals this quarter.
But again, the Zags are really trying to go baseline. I think the Tigers are doing a good job of making them think that that's the read. But there's not a whole lot. I always say that the baseline and the sideline are like secondary defenders because you can't pass through him, you can't dribble through them, you know. So got to do a better job of getting some action towards the middle of the court.
Here's Turner on Elliott. Inside to Little, and she traveled. Little's been struggling a little bit on that low post to get anything going on offense in her return from her absence for personal reasons. 14-point lead for the Bulldogs. We enter 2 minutes left in the first half. Smith on Dalton. Nice move. And it goes. Bag work for Liz Smith here in the second quarter. She's up to 11.
Smith is so shifty, and she has that ball on a string. Does a great job of getting her defenders off balance and uncomfortable, and finishes well at the rim as well.
Turner cannot get it inside. Again, Smith right there. As Claire O'Connor is going to check back into the game for the Bulldogs.
We're seeing a couple different lineups here for the Zags with Ejim on the bench, trying to get some inside presence to hopefully open up your outside looks for those guards.
Here's Turner, 10 points, 4 for 5 from the field. Dalen, we know she likes the mid-range shot. Gives it up to O'Connor. Dalton to Dalen, there's the midi. She's off on that, and the rebound to Pacific.
It's a good look. She's capable of knocking that down.
Well, it was a 16-point lead for the Bulldogs. Pacific looking to trim it down to single digits by half. Radishai has Betancourt in an awkward position. That's great defense from Betancourt. She was basically guarding her with her face to the basket. I have never seen that before. A good adjustment from Betancourt.
Yeah, able to force that travel. Radishai's got to be a little bit more aggressive. She's got a height advantage. Rather than facing up against somebody like Betancourt, just kind of lower your shoulder, have a nice solid base, and just get yourself to the rim.
Again, Smith up front with the deflection. More pressure from the Tigers, and 10 seconds is called. Allie Turner did not get it past half court. A good defense from the Tigers.
Turner and Betancourt, both point guards, you have to have an awareness of time and score, and that includes the shot clock when the ball's in the front court. So unfortunately a 10-second violation, and with less than 50 seconds on the clock, maybe you get one more look at it, but got to take care of the ball in those situations better.
2-for-1 opportunity here for Pacific. They get it to Smith, high arcing jumper, can't get it to fall, but a foul, a loose ball foul on the Bulldogs. Elliott once again getting inside. .38 seconds left in the first half. The shot clock will reset to 20 seconds for the Tigers.
I thought Elliott was trying to rebound and tip that, so interesting that they didn't call it a shooting foul.
Without Ejim, it's a little bit harder for the Bulldogs to take advantage inside. Here's Elliott on Dalen, a nice move with the left. Liz Elliott now up to 10 points. About 1 second separating game and shot clock for the Bulldogs. Here's Betancourt. Radishai all over her. Shot clock down to 10. Betancourt's gonna have to go. Shot clock down to 5, and she throws it away. Good defense by the Tigers. And they've climbed their way back into this ball game. just constant pressure on Betancourt as the shot clock went down. 4 seconds left. Get it into Smith. Downhill, nice pass to Radishai, and she gets it to go at the buzzer. So Pacific, and Fine came back. That's when this win streak really started for the Bulldogs. Looking for their 9th straight victory if they can hold on tonight. But here's Smith. Out to Sydney Ward, who made the first 3 of the season in the first quarter. James working on Little. Good defense from Little once again, but Elliott right there for the putback.
Egypt's got to do a better job of clearing Elliott out. Maybe not so she can get that offensive rebound, but, or excuse me, defensive rebound, but so Elliott doesn't get the offensive one either.
Now just a 6-point lead for Gonzaga. Egypt, she made one in the first half. That one's off. Offensive rebound, Claire O'Connor, and she puts it back in.
Great job by O'Connor to fly in there, finish that offensive rebound. For the Tigers, though, statistically, you'll live with Egypt shooting those threes contested.
Tough runner, no good for Radishai. Egypt comes down with the rebound. You mentioned Little, the defense on Anaya James. 1 for 6 for Anaya. 4 straight games with 15-plus points. Little doing her job on the defensive end. Here's Turner, a little runner. No good. And Elliott coming down with her 5th rebound of the game. Here's Smith in transition. Tough jumper over O'Connor, but she was fouled. And there she is again. She really likes to push the pace.
Gets herself downhill really well. Great job by O'Connor to stop, to stay down, not go for any shot fakes, or get herself out of position with James's footwork.
11 points, 4 for 9 from the field, has also made both of her free throws in this one. An 80% foul shooter, and she makes the first. This is some of the adjustments. Lisa Fortier, right before halftime, she talked about it. We just simply aren't playing that good on defense. And Liz Smith has been making them pay tonight. She misses.
The Zags got a lot of action the first few possessions just on that first side. You see them here, they were able to reverse it to the left, gets to the right, it's back on the left. It just makes the defense move, makes you more dynamic, and then you get great threes from one of your best 3-point shooters, Allie Turner, in the corner.
One of the best 3-point shooters in the country is Allie Turner. She's up to 13 points. Inside, Elliott is fouled by Ejim. And if that is on her, that will be her 3rd.
Not sure if it was on Ejim or maybe on O'Connor.
It was on O'Connor. So deep breath from Zags fans there. Threatening 3 fouls for Yvonne Ejim, but Elliott will go to the line nonetheless. Bree Salenbein checks back into the game.
But also that was Claire O'Connor's 3rd foul too, and I thought she was doing a pretty good job defensively using her length. You saw her got that rebound and put back for the Zags, so you also don't want to lose her productivity to foul trouble either.
It's the first miss from Elliott today. She's 6 for 6 from the field with 12 points. She's been dominating inside.
And I think that's the adjustment that the Pacific coaching staff made at halftime as well, is we need to establish her inside early. And she's got some great looks, got herself to the free throw line, so the Zags are going to have to adjust again and match her physicality.
More full court pressure from Pacific. Little looking for Ejim, poked away. Ejim gets it back. Salenbein got it tipped by Anaya James. Nice pass inside. And Little throws it away again. She's not known for her scoring on this team, but that's one maybe you want her to go up with.
I think she has the reverse too. She is left-handed, so she gets it in that left short corner. I think she can go baseline, use her length to get a look at the rim, but unfortunately turns it over there.
Here's Smith. Tough mid-range jumper, way off. And Ejim comes down with the rebound. Might have been altered there by Taylor Dalton, who played nice defense. Here's Turner being harassed by Liz Smith, and she comes away with the steal. Down the court looking for James. It looked like maybe it got touched by James. The crowd thinks so too. From our angle, that certainly looked like Gonzaga ball, and they will switch the call. Good hustle by Gonzaga to get back. Liz Smith will check out of the game. Take another look. Again, Tyler Dalton right there on defense. Super solid all-around game. The 5th year coming over from St. Mary's. Here's Salenbein. The Turner, who's been hot, and she hits another. Allie Turner, 4 for 4 from 3 in today's game. Up to 16 points now as the freshman.
And those are press busters, right? Where you bring some full court pressure. The Zags handle it, move it around well, able to find their shooter in the corner.
Here's Radishai, had the bucket right at the end of the half at the buzzer. Just 1 for 5 from the floor otherwise, and a steal by Turner. Now looking for Ejim. Looks like Little has position. They can't get it to her. And a foul up top. Anaya James on Allie Turner, who is having a great game. 6 for 8 from the field in that last 3. Put her up 4 for 4 from 3. And Allie Turner this season, she hasn't been one of just the best freshmen in the conference. She's been one of the best players in the conference as we look at some of her season stats.
Yeah, she came into this program and really established herself as a great ball handler, but like you see here, one of the great scorers. She does such a great job of relocating when the ball does enter into Ejim, into the post, and finding her pocket to get her threes off.
And you might as well give her WCC Freshman of the Year. She's won WCC Freshman of the Week 5 times already.
And she's carrying a heavy load, right? She took over this point guard position after Kaylin and Kaylee Trong graduated. Those are very, very big shoes to fill. She definitely runs a different show than they were, but it's great to see her take on this role and to thrive in it.
Well, now Nestorov on Turner. Ejim has not attempted a field goal yet. Sydney Ward all over Salenbein. Here's Ejim, a tough jumper, no good. And here comes Liz Smith with the advantage. Smith, open 3, no good. And Ejim comes down with the rebound. She throws it back. Oh, that's not a good decision from Ejim, and a nice finish from Jamie Kent. You don't see that very often, a mental lapse from Ejim there on defense.
He's kind of on 1 foot, leaning out of bounds. He was trying to keep the play alive, but kind of a no-no to save the ball under the opponent's basket.
And Allie Turner is on a heater. 5 threes now for the freshman, up to 19 points as the lead builds up to 13.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one way to extend the lead is if she's just going to be left wide open on the perimeter. If I'm the Pacific coaching staff, we have to change something because we're losing sight of where she's at.
A massive height advantage there. That's 6'2" Esther Little, 5'4" Daria Nestorov as Little checks out of the game and Betancourt returns.
You see here the Zags are moving it around the perimeter, just easy passes. The Tigers are definitely capable of shooting those passing lanes, but make the Zags put it on the ground instead of just passing it to find Turner for a wide open 3.
Liz Smith twirling her way to the rim. What a move from Smith, who's up to 13 points. Looked like some physicality there from Nestorov on Turner in the backcourt. And Ejim controls it.
And that's the defensive scheme for the Tigers. They want to be physical with you, kind of make you lose your composure, play too fast, so the Zags just have to stay calm, keep moving the ball around.
Turner off this time. First miss from 3 for her.
And that's a great heat check, right? It wasn't too early in the shot clock. There were multiple passes, people getting themselves into the lane. I think the Gonzaga coaching staff is fine with that 3 from her.
An offensive foul called on Liz Smith. Dalton was all over her on defense. And Liz Smith now 2 personals. The under 5 timeout on the court. The Bulldogs an 11-point lead over Pacific.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Domino's Specialty Chicken. 4 tasty topping combos loaded on tender, juicy chicken. It kind of makes us wonder why we don't call it loaded chicken. Well, okay, now we do. Domino's Loaded Chicken. And for a limited time, Domino's Rewards members can try loaded chicken for half off menu price.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time for a different kind of power. Whether you choose an electric Honda or a hybrid. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Overall EV and Hybrid brand. Right now, you can get a $309 per month lease on a 2025 Civic Sport Hybrid Sedan.
Business taxes was always so all-consuming. Now business taxes is having a TurboTax small business expert who handles your taxes for you. With year-round advice and answers at no extra cost. So you have more time and money for your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
Mom, whose room is this?
Oh, I don't know. When you want bedtime, to be a good time.
Good night, sweetheart.
It matters where you stay. Conrad Hotels and Resorts. Hilton for the stay.
Your life is pretty smart. But when it's time to eat, suddenly you feel out of sync. Refresh your routine with Factor. Chef-prepared meals delivered with a tap, ready in 2 minutes. Imagine dinner on autopilot and enjoying Tuscan tomato chicken without lifting a finger. Upgrade your plate. Optimize your nutrition. Eat smart with Factor.
And welcome back to Spokane, where historically Gonzaga has been very good at. But we look at Pacific and their home road split stack, it's vastly different.
Yeah, on the road, the last 6 seasons, 25 and 50, but at home, completely different story. They're 45 and 34. This season, they're 7-4 at home, 3 and 6 on the road. So they're trying to turn things around here tonight. But when you have Allie Turner coming in and hitting back-to-back-to-back threes, it feels like it's going to be hard to change that statistic on the road.
Some pressure up front from Pacific coming out of the timeout. Ward looking to get that third foul on Ejim, but she will foul Betancourt. The Zags couldn't really push it past the logo that possession. Kind of got bailed out by the foul.
Pacific trying to come out of that break and bring a little bit more of defensive pressure. Ejim goes to make that handoff with Betancourt just to get yourself away from the half-court line and be able to start your offense. I'd love to see her just get that handoff, let her go to her possession or to her position for the whatever offensive play call 48 gave you, and get into your set rather than flirting with that half-court line.
Here's Ejim, high post. Looking for Turner. Now she'll go on Elliott. Tough layup, no good. Some contact down there, might have been a foul. Ejim has not scored in the quarter. Here's Lowry, an open three, and she got it. Back to an 8-point game. Pacific just will not go away.
Historically, Lowry, a 25% free throw shooter, so definitely playing the numbers, you're okay with that. But this is Division I college basketball, so I always say people are capable of knocking down wide open threes. You don't want to give them confidence with that.
And Radajai with the finish over Betancourt. A 6-point game now. You saw Ejim 1 for 4 from 3. She's been taking those. We've got a ball game as Pacific continues to ramp up the pressure. Here's Ejim. Turner. Betancourt, mid-range jumper, rattles out. Rebound by Elliott. Looks like we'll get a jump ball. The possession will stay here with the Zags.
Zags are running a lot of offense where Ejim is getting it in the mid-post, which I think Pacific is ready for. I wonder if they were to flip that, have Salenbein be there. She's capable of knocking down that mid-range and attacking off the dribble too, but then you have Ejim battling Elliott down low, maybe to get her into some foul trouble or Vonnie some easy looks at the rim.
Here's Betancourt again from the mid-range, no good. A 7-0 run from Pacific over the last 2 minutes. Here's James, the jumper. Can't get it to fall. Rebound goes to Turner as Ejim comes out of the game once again.
Great job by Esther Little of pushing Elliott under as that shot went up to prevent her from getting that rebound.
Looked like maybe Sydney Ward tapped it out of bounds, but Pacific will get the ball back. And we'll see again at the end of the first half, Gonzaga really struggled when Ejim was on the bench. Here's Ward, another three, and she gets it. Just the second made three-pointer of the season, both coming tonight, and it's just a one-possession game.
Momentum right now is definitely in Pacific's favor, so that's when you do see those players that normally don't make threes, they start making them because just the energy, how the game is going. Great take there by Salenbine. The Zags needed a bucket. 48 is going to call a timeout, make some adjustments probably on the defensive end as well.
Well, the first bucket of the game for Salenbine. Again, extends the lead back to 5, but Yvonne Ejim is going to immediately come back into the game. But the Tigers have made this an interesting one, down just 5 points as we enter the break.
All right, fans, it's time for the Zags Dance Cam. I want to see all of you on your feet.
Well, that's
West Coast Conference. USF Dogs have won the West Coast Conference Tournament. Gonzaga celebrates another championship.
The Pilots do it again. Your WCC tournament champions back-to-back.
Get ready for the West Coast Conference Basketball Tournament in Las Vegas. 22 teams will compete. 2 teams will emerge as champions. Don't miss a minute of the action. Secure your tickets today at WCCsports.com.
If you've ever raised your hand, you know it takes courage. The courage to risk everything, to offer help, to go first. The courage to reach for the stars. But imagine how much easier it will be to raise your hand with the confidence of a Gonzaga degree.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Introducing CU1 High Yield Checking, the account that rewards you for everyday banking. Earn up to 5.25% APY when you make qualifying transactions each month. No minimum or opening balance required. Get started at cu1.com/high-yield-checking.
Bacon. Good morning, everybody. Nothing like the Jersey Mike's morning prep. The sizzling bacon, the slicing of the tomatoes, the bopping of the fresh lettuce.
Danny, what are you doing up there?
I've been living up here for months.
Got a package from Mr. DeVito?
Oh, my bacon sniffing horn. Oh, smell that bacon. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, now we're talking. Freshly prepped every morning. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Well, we've got a game, folks. Pacific has cut a 16-point lead down to 5 points. It was a one-possession game before Salenbine hit a tough runner, but Liz Smith is pretty much getting anything she wants right now.
Yeah, she's got 14 points on the day. And she's this team's leader, right? So she's not backing down. She's not afraid of a 14-point lead by the Zags. She's going to chip away at it with a chip on her shoulder, and her teammates are following suit as well.
The Zags go into a zone out of the timeout. Lisa Fortier trying to do anything to stop the Liz Smith combo that's been dominating this third quarter so far. Elliott calling for it. James, a nice pass. Looked like it might have been deflected. It will stay Pacific ball. Just 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Great job by James of attacking that zone. Esther Little is helping out on Lowry out in the corner. I think she can sink in and help defend Elliott so that that little drop-down pass isn't available.
And a foul. Not entirely sure who it was, Sydney Ward, but it will be on Yvonne Ejim, so that will be her third. See if Fortier looks to sub her out before the end of the third. Looks like she'll keep her in the game. Quick turnaround, they go to Lowry. Runner no good, and Ejim comes away with the rebound. Her 9th of the game. Looking at another double-double for Yvonne Ejim. Has not scored, though, in the second half. Little knocked away by Elliott. Good hands again from Liz Elliott. James, open transition three, she got it. Back to just a 2-point game. Again, Pacific has never led in this contest. It's been coast to coast for the Bulldogs. Just the second made field goal for Anaya James. Here's Betancourt, open path to the rim. Easy layup for Betancourt.
Can't fall asleep on what's happening with some off-ball actions and forget where your help side is at. And also on the ball, you can't get beat baseline knowing that Betancourt is capable of getting herself to the rim.
Liz Smith, wide open three. Zags got lucky, she didn't make that one. And a bad pass and stolen by Little. And the Zags have numbers. But Ejim will back it out. No Allie Turner on the court, she's leading the way for the Zags with 19 points. She's hit 3 threes here in the third quarter. Here's Ejim. Against Sydney Ward, sends her to the floor, and a charge will be called on Yvonne Ejim. That'll be her 4th foul. A huge turnaround here in the second half of this third quarter. McKinley Dalen checks in, and Yvonne Ejim, 4 fouls for her.
That's unfortunate, but I thought Ward did a great job of getting her chest back in front of Ejim as she was trying to cross the paint. You saw both hands are out and wide, took it in the chest.
Down to 10 seconds on the clock. Looking for Elliott. Operating on Little, tipped away, but she still finds a way to get it to go. And there will be no heave, and Pacific bench with 4 fouls now. And I'm wondering, when does Fortier pull the trigger and put her back in with those 4 fouls?
Well, ideally, I've always lived by the rule of you pick up 4, you sit for 2 minutes. However, if her teammates can extend this lead and get some stops, maybe you can save her for a few more minutes.
And a wild circus shot goes for Liz Elliott, who has taken over this ball game. 17 points, still perfect from the field. The ref's debating, and it will be a counted bucket. So that is not the start the Zags are looking for with Ejim on the bench.
Which I'm surprised, because it looks like Elliott gets surprised by the Zags help side and she travels. So an unfortunate break for the Zags, but you have to know coming out of that timeout that the Tigers are going to try to get the ball inside to Elliott.
Still not on the court for the Zags is Claire O'Connor as well, who's sitting with 3 fouls. But Liz Elliott is priority number 1 to stop for the Zags defense. 8 for 8 from the field. However, she has struggled from the line, just 1 for 3 tonight. And she misses again. Dalen comes away with the rebound. Smith applying lots of pressure to Turner, and she pokes it away. But Dalen comes away with it. Double team in the corner, and a foul by Nia Lowry. Bulldog fans wanted the foul from the start, but this pressure is just getting to these Bulldog guards.
Again, the ball is loose. Dalen picks it up and then hands it off to Dalton, who's also on the same sideline. There's 5 people in a very small radius. You got to be comfortable just bringing the ball out, finding your point guard, getting yourself into your offensive set. Right now, the Zags just need to be a little bit more composed. Know that Pacific's defensive game plan is to bring pressure, is to be handsy, is to be physical. So you have to match that with just being calm.
It looks not entirely sure what the discussion is on the court. I think trying to see what the shot clock's supposed to be at. Right now it's at 28 seconds. But the Bulldogs never got the shot up.
And it didn't change possession. Liz Smith tipped Allie Turner's dribble from behind, but the ball was just loose. So they are recalling to 20.
It's going back to 20 seconds on the shot clock. The first tie of the game since it was 0-0. And it looks like a foul on Liz Smith running in to Esther Little.
And that's what I think, sorry to cut you off, Kyle, I think that's what was missing from the Zags in the third quarter. Guards weren't doing a good job of coming off tight, and the posts weren't doing a good job of having their feet set, so no screens were really being set. Little kind of sacrifices herself there by actually being set, making contact with Liz, and Turner comes off nice and fast.
Well, Turner has done the bulk of the scoring, so it nearly goes out of bounds. 19 points for her to lead the way. Betancourt, mid-range, no good. Dalen right there. Physical play for McKinley Dalen to save the possession for the Bulldogs.
And again, that's what Dalen can bring you, is just another solid body that's capable of flying in there and securing another possession for you. That's what the Zags need right now, these last 9 minutes.
Here's O'Connor checking back in. Betancourt will get a breather. O'Connor 4 points, 1 for 5 from the field. Scored a season high 20 points against Pepperdine a couple games ago. Immediate action, but she misses the jumper. But the Bulldogs come away with it. Here's Dalen. Mid-range jumper over Elliott, no good. All over it is Claire O'Connor, and she flips it up and in. A huge possession. Esther Little and O'Connor were in there to create multiple chances, and Little with the deflection.
I was going to say, I know O'Connor scored that last bucket, but that was all Esther Little of just working hard, crashing the glass. She does a great job of using her length, kind of tipping the ball back out. O'Connor was the beneficiary of her aggressiveness.
Again, no points for her in today's game, but she's been playing phenomenal defense on Anaya James and has 4 rebounds as well. Here's Liz Smith. Down the lane, tough shot, and she's fouled. Taylor Dalton, on the foul, and Liz Smith will go back to the line for her 5th and 6th free throws of the game. Again, an 80% free throw shooter. She is a tough stop.
Dalton does a great job of sliding over and help side, but she was really tall. And against an offensive player like Liz Smith, who is so shifty and able to get her shot off, even if it looks a little bit awkward to like the naked basketball eye. So you have to slide over and keep your chest in front, but also keep your feet active. So I think Dalton slid over, was in good position, but was just too upright. And Liz Smith able to get herself to the free throw line, take advantage of poor positioning.
She's made some tough buckets this afternoon. She makes the second. Back to a tie game. Zags break the pressure from the Tigers. They kind of struggled with that in the second half. Dalton looking for an outlet. O'Connor can't find anything against Anaya James. Turner had a big third quarter, being harassed by Liz Smith, and a steal. Nia Lowry again right there. And the Tigers could take their first lead of the game this possession. Inside to Elliott. The turnover. Good defensive presence down low. Liz Elliott has been dominating all game. It's a turnover from Anaya James.
Great job by Dalen there just to keep herself low, keep her base and her feet nice and active and wide. Forces that turnover. I think James could actually get herself a little bit closer. Maybe it's not a lob from the top of the key to Elliott, but a reversal to the wing.
Under 8 minutes to go now. 53-53 tie. Turner looking to get another shot. Turner gets the open shot and gets it to go. A huge three-pointer for Allie Turner, her 6th of the night.
And again, I don't understand how Pacific lets that happen. You had them kind of operating in the corner. Elliott's way too deep, unaware that she's got one of the best three-point shooters in the country in the corner.
Ward's hit 2 threes already today. Turner guarding up more. Dalen with a good defense down low. But here's Elliott. Lowry driving. Baseline jumper is good. Tough shot. But back and forth we go. The Bulldogs and the Tigers. Turner up to 22 points now. Her season high was 23, said a couple weeks ago. O'Connor, a 3, no good. And rebounded by Sydney Ward.
And And I don't think that's the shot you want if you're the Zags. We got one ball screen and then a quick three in the corner.
And a travel from Liz Smith. Seems as though Fortier has told Esther Little to guard Smith now that she has the hot hand over Anaya James. But she takes a break and Bree Salenvine comes back in. Anaya James also coming back in for Pacific.
Ejim picked up her fourth foul with a few minutes left, and you see her, she hasn't come back in, but the Zags are doing a good job of, I was going to say maintaining composure and getting good looks. Unfortunately, Turner gets pressured and dribbles off the sideline. But it'll be interesting to see, like you mentioned, how long do you keep her? You have a 1-point lead. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes back at the 5-minute mark.
The 15th turnover of the game. Nesterov to the rim, no good. Offensive rebound, Jamie Kent, and puts it back. The first lead of the game for Pacific. Coming here in the fourth quarter and a timeout from Lisa Fortier. This is an unbelievable turn of events. Really, at the end of the first half and coming into the second half, the Zags' 16-point lead is no more. Timeout was actually taken by Pacific, but a 1-point lead now for the Tigers with just 6 minutes to go.
At Domino's, 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas give you 34 million different flavor combinations for just $6.99 each. But when you add on 8 dip cup flavors, every single bite is a new combination. Add a dip cup when you mix and match tonight at Domino's.
You got the tickets?
Vivid Seats, the only ticket company in the game that rewards you for buying. From concerts to sports and everything in between. Vivid Seats, official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
You mind? I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
How do I get your job?
Hard work, dedication.
I'm the Capital One Bank guy.
It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication.
What's been the highlight of your career? And that have to be
bank guy. Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
Good day, sir.
Oh, wait. You like Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a pepper thing.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability from the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get a $289 per month lease on a 2025 HR-V all-wheel drive Sport.
Business taxes was always so all-consuming. Now business taxes is having a TurboTax small business expert who handles your taxes for you. With year-round advice and answers at no extra cost. So you have more time and money for your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
There's just a little over 6 minutes remaining here in the game, and the Pacific Tigers have just taken their first lead of the ball game. 57-56 lead as Yvonne Ejim continues to sit with her 4 fouls. It'll be interesting to see when she comes back in. But here's Salenbine. Looking for an opening for Turner, who has 22 points. But tipped away from Liz Smith. Now on the break. Anaya James, jumper, rims out.
I don't love that action of having splits, it gets reversed, and then you're hitting Turner, who's a smaller point guard, and she's being pressured by Liz Smith. You're hitting her in the corner and expecting her to do something.
Looking for the duck in for Dalen. She's fouled by Jamie Kent. It's her third. Lowry and Liz Elliott will check back into the game. Elliott, 17 points to lead the way for Pacific. A perfect 8 for 8 from the field still. She has been a problem inside, especially with Ejim taking the extended time on the bench. Salenbine, nice move, but poked away by Elliott. Bulldog fans looking for a foul. Now Salenbine's behind the play. Here's Anaya James, just 2 for 9 today. She's been hot as of late. Working on Salenbine. Inside, tough runner, no good. But offensive rebound for Ward. James will have a crack at it and blocked by Turner. But there's Ward again, and she's fouled. Multiple opportunities for the Tigers on that possession. And now Sydney Ward will have free throws.
Zags aren't doing a great job of checking out on the weak side, so you're forcing Pacific into tough shots. James, you saw she got in the lane, but she's leaning outside of her body, outside of her frame to finish. Hits hard off the backboard, but there's no block out happening on the left side of the court, so they're able to get look after look, and at some point it's either going to go in or exactly what you see here where a Pacific player gets himself to the free throw line. Ward able to knock down the first.
Ward's first free throws of the game. 76% free throw shooter on the season.
We're now at the 5-minute mark, and Ejim still on the bench.
Ward misses a second, but an offensive rebound by Lowry. And Liz Smith controls it. 2-point lead for the Tigers. We go under 5 minutes to go. Smith, kick out. James, wide open 3. No good. And Dalen comes down with the rebound. A huge stop for the Bulldogs.
That's not an easy assignment for Dalen, and she's battling down there with Elliott.
Dalen's been filling in for Ejim. Salenbine operating, and she's fouled underneath by Liz Elliott. It's just her first personal.
That's the first time I've seen a Zag attack the baseline with the intention of scoring. Elliott isn't great moving laterally, guarding a guard. So great job by Salenbine there of just getting herself downhill and attacking that outside hip.
Well, Ejim is now checking back into the game with 4:30 left. Salenbine 0 for 2 from the line. These are 2 big free throws for her. She hits the first. Fortier sticking with Salenbine as we enter crunch time here. Just her 9th game back from injury. Looking to become a focal point of this team. And she hits both. Back to a tie game.
It's essentially 0-0 now, and it's a 4-minute mini game right now. Both teams need to lock in defensively.
Smith has 16, tough jumper and gets it to go. She has been phenomenal tonight, hitting tough jumper after tough jumper. Up to 18 now. Turner, she has 6 threes on the night. Ejim, easy jumper and she gets it. Her first points of the second half, up to 17 points.
And immediately her presence is felt and appreciated on the offensive end because she's just so composed.
And an offensive foul again, Esther Little making her presence known on the defensive end.
Elliott's done that a couple of times where I feel like she's setting her screen and rolling so quickly. It has to be 2 separate actions. You see her here, she's just kind of like running through as she's trying to like curl into her roll. Have to be a little bit more disciplined there.
Dangerous pass from Turner, almost stolen by Elliott. Betancourt on Lowry. Dangerous drive, but a foul by Ward.
Betancourt has unfortunately been called for some charges earlier on this season where she's getting to the paint and she's leaving her feet to make passes over the top. Esther Little was kind of in that dunker spot, just like a few feet towards the baseline, almost like where the Z is and Zags on the baseline. I'd love to see Betancourt be able to get herself in there and just 2-foot jump stop, a quick stop, and just make that little bounce pass because you definitely don't want to get yourself up in the air where you do put it on the rest to make that 50-50 call. Is it a charge or is it a block? But works out that time. She gets fouled on the pass. and able to knock down some free throws.
That's the 4th on Sydney Ward, who's had a huge game, has hit 2 threes, and has 9 rebounds to lead the way for Pacific. Back to a 2-point lead. James looking for help. 2 for 12 on the night for Anaya James. Inside, tough jumper, no good, rims out, and Ejim with the rebound. Continue to struggle in tonight's game is Anaya James, and a huge defensive stop for the Zags.
Which makes this Tigers run even more impressive, right? Because she's a big piece for them offensively, and she's just not having a great night.
Who is having a great night is Allie Turner. No good on the jumper. Rebound batted around, and it will be Pacific ball. A rare miss from Turner tonight. 8 for 12 from the field, 22 points to lead the way for both teams.
It's a great look for Turner coming off into that mid-range. I also think that she has Bonnie rolling as a second look as well.
As Taylor Dalton comes back into the game, Salenbein will take a breather for the Bulldogs. Liz Smith, 18 points to lead the way for the Tigers. Approaching 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in this ball game. James inside on Dalton and gets it to go. Back to a tie game. Here's Betancourt. Down to Ejim. Dangerous pass. Dalton, mid-range jumper, way short, and taken by James. And Smith will control it for Pacific. Just 2 minutes remaining in a huge conference matchup as the WCC season winds to a close. Smith, tough jumper, and it rolls out, but a loose ball foul will be called on Anesh Betancourt. It was on Liz Elliott, who's been active in the paint all night. Salenbein will come back in, and Betancourt will come out. Huge defensive possession for the Bulldogs.
Part of the issue is Betancourt's just not doing a great job of blocking out, and Salenbein has a little bit more length and hopefully can take on that defensive assignment better.
Lowry no good on the jumper, and Ejim corrals it. Another double-double for Ejim, 17 points and 10 boards for her. Looking for movement, and here's Turner. James, high pressure on her. Salenbein in the lane on Ward, who has 4 fouls. Ejim, jumper, just off, and the rebound by Elliott. Approaching 1 minute to go and still deadlocked at 62 apiece. Could sense a little bit of nervousness in the McCarthy Athletic Center. James for 3, no good, and rebound by Ejim. Here's Turner, maybe looking ahead for Salenbein, but she'll control it. And a timeout by Lisa Fortier. And after a dominant first half for the Zags, this is not the end of the game that Zags fans were maybe hoping for. Tie game with under a minute to go.
It's been a tale of 2 halves for the Zags. They outscored Pacific 23-13 in the first quarter, but then coming out of halftime, the Tigers did the same thing. They went 21 to Gonzaga's 15 points, and now you do see yourself in a battle, tie game with 53.8 on the clock. I feel offensively the Zags are trying to get very specific actions on a very specific side, and I think you just need to play, because when you're trying to do something so specific, I think it's a little bit easier to scout, to defend. So I'd love to see them just like have a little bit more freedom to play and to be aggressive. I don't know if the action that you want is always Ejim shooting a mid-range contested. I think we need to try and get her something at the rim, get some of our guards going downhill. And then on this end, defensively, you just have to lock in and get some stops.
It's been 2 minutes and 39 seconds of game time since the Bulldogs have mustered a point. Now under a minute, James active on the inbound. Shot clock at 22. for the Zags. Soundbine looking to enter it. Gets it to Ejim. Ejim operating inside, gets it to go. Go-ahead bucket for Yvonne Ejim. She's up to 19 on the game.
And that's what I'm talking about. There is no play. It is get your best players the basketball and let them go make a play right now. It's crunch time.
Smith inside Elliott, it's stolen by Turner. Approaching 30 seconds to go, and it looks like the Tigers, there's about 7 seconds difference, shot clock and game clock, and Ejim is fouled. Yvonne Ejim, time and time again, another timely bucket for her.
Just crucial plays offensively. Getting it here and just attacking baseline, just fearless, strong. And then on the other end, able to get a deflection for a steal. This is why she cannot get in foul trouble for this program. She just does too much on both ends of the floor for her to find herself on the bench.
Well, now 2 free throws for Ejim, and she hits the first. Another 20-point game for Yvonne Ejim, 20 and 12 tonight. She hits the second. A 2-possession game, and Bradley Davis calls timeout. Under 30 seconds left, and Ejim delivers once again, back to a 4-point lead.
Be interesting to see what the Zags do coming out of this timeout. Are they going to want to stay man-to-man? I don't know if I like those odds with Smith and Elliott most likely ending up in a ball screen. You don't want Ejim to pick up her 5th foul and something silly. Do you come out and go zone? Interesting as well to see what Coach Bradley and his staff draw up. But I think you have to be ready if you're Pacific for the Zags to go zone or for them to come out man-to-man.
Ejim had 15 points in that first half, was held scoreless for a large part of the second half. Give credit to Pacific. They made the adjustments after she dominated that first quarter and first half overall. But again, 7 for 14, 21 points for her. Just another day at the office for Yvonne Ejim.
Yeah, it's actually insane that she could sit out for as long as she had or be in foul trouble like she has today and still end up with a 21 and 12 night. Like you said, though, kudos to Pacific of getting her into foul trouble, but then also taking advantage of when she was on the bench and just going at the Zags.
Well, now 29 seconds left and trailing by 4 is Pacific. We'll see what Bradley Davis draws up. He's going to need a quick hitter. As Liz Smith now to inbound. She gets it into James, who's been struggling today. Elliott, low post, nice move, and gets the layup to go. 23 seconds left and a timeout from Fortier. So exactly what Davis was looking for out of the timeout. Gets it to Smith, who is still perfect on the night. 9 for 9, 19 points for her.
Yeah, they run this little elevator screen action and then able to fill or feed Elliott in down low because that caused that switch where Ejim is out guarding James. Now Esther Little is guarding Elliott. So I think whenever there's an elevator action, instead of going through the doors, you want to go around them. And Esther tried to go around Elliott. That's a big screen, though. Gets clipped, and then it causes that switch. So great job by the Tigers of drawing up a play, executing, making this a 2-point game with 23 seconds left.
Well, the shot clock will be off for the Bulldogs. It's likely that Pacific will have to foul as Betancourt's going to check in. But protecting the ball, number 1 priority now for the Zags.
And this is where that addition of the rule where after a made basket you can call a timeout and advance the ball, that really helps the Zags because I don't think you want to go against full court Pacific pressure after they score and you're taking the ball out underneath their hoop. So ball advances, Dalton's going to take it out for the Zags. We'll see how they go.
They're looking for Turner, who's an 85% free throw shooter. Ejim also a good free throw shooter, but she's double teamed, and it will be a foul. In a tough position, Ejim was. Kind of got bailed out, but she will head back to the line. She entered the game a 78% foul shooter. She is 6 for 6 from the line tonight.
Can we just talk about her forearm, wrist, and hand strength? I don't know a lot of players that can find themselves in a trap, an aggressive trap at that from Pacific on the sideline and have the ball extended, arms straight, and not lose it, just handle that pressure. The strength is just unreal.
Huge free throws for Ejim, who knocks down the first. Clutch performance tonight, especially in the last minute, a go-ahead bucket and then the defensive end. And she makes another. And another timeout for Bradley Davis. Back to a 4-point lead for the Zags. 8 for 8 for free throw tonight for Egypt, who's up to 23 points to lead the way for Gonzaga.
And those free throws were massive, right? It makes it another 2-possession game. And what we mean when we say that is if she only makes one and they're only up 3, that's a 1-possession game because Pacific could come down and hit a 3 and tie this thing up. But by making both those free throws and now it's a 4-point lead, they're going to have to score, get a stop, and then score again. However, there's only 20 seconds left, so Pacific is probably going to have to foul whether they make or miss down here at this end.
Well, let's give credit to Allie Turner, who has 22 points, 6 for 7 from 3. But down the stretch, it's been Yvonne Ejim, who has been really our player of the game. Again, 23 and 12, yet another double-double, 27 points over the last 4. I mean, I could drone on and on about her. But another quick hitter, Bradley Davis connected on the first one with about 25 seconds left. So we'll see if they enter it back into Elliott or go to Smith or James on the outside.
Yeah, you can't have somebody like a Jim who is just putting her stamp all over the Gonzaga women's basketball record books. It completely changes what they're able to do when she's unavailable. But like you said, Allie Turner did a great job of stepping up, hitting some crucial 3-point shots to not extend Gonzaga's lead, but just to keep themselves in front so that when Pacific finally did take the lead, they were still in a good spot with Ejim on the bench.
And for Pacific, Elliott has 19 points and Smith has 18 points. They've done most of the work on the offensive end. And Nia James, 3 for 15 from the field. She's been struggling. She hit a nice basket as the fourth quarter was winding down to extend a lead. But other than that, Esther Little, who's been basically on her all night, has done a great job. It looks like Lowry will inbound it for Pacific. 48 really talking this over with the Bulldogs, who still have the 4-point lead. Bulldogs have 14 fouls coming in, so no fouls to give for them. It'll be Ejim, Dalton, Little, Salenbein, and Turner for the Bulldogs. Here's James. Looking for Elliott down low. Liz Smith, no good on the jumper. Sydney Ward with the rebound out to James. No good. And the rebound down to Esther Little, who calls a timeout. And Sydney Ward got the rebound, and everyone held their breath in the McCarthy Athletic Center as Nia James took a wide open 3, but a stop nonetheless for the Zags. Now just 7 seconds left, and they'll be heading to the line.
Yeah, you see here, Liz Smith talked into a tough jumper, but Ward had just come flying in from the top of the key. James gets a great look, falls a bit short. Good block out by the Zags. Great recognition of Little as well to remember that the game plan is to secure that rebound. You can't dribble or anything. You have to secure that rebound and call a timeout if you are wanting to advance. The second you dribble, you can still call your timeout, but then you can no longer advance it. So great awareness of the situation there.
Well, Little's been spectacular all game, but she also has a heads-up presence to know, hey, I'm not the best free throw shooter on the court. She knew that Pacific was going to foul her. She shoots just 37% from the line this season, so a heads-up play from Esther Little, who we've talked about. She doesn't score a whole lot. She hasn't even attempted a field goal in this game, but phenomenal defense. That was a huge rebound, her 5th of the night, and that pretty much ices the game for the Bulldogs, barring any weird setbacks, but we've seen that before.
Well, what we've seen is their inability to get the ball in off of the sideline. So before, a couple possessions ago when Ejim got it and she drove baseline on Elliott and scored, Salenbein was taking it out and tried to throw it in, and it was tipped out of bounds. Zags retained possession. So Pacific does a great job of denying here on the sideline. So the Zags, you have to get the ball in and just be strong. You got to know they're going to try to go for the steal before they foul. So elbows out, get that ball under your chin, pivot through the pressure.
Dalton to inbound. In the same exact spot as before, Ejim. Time just running out. 3 seconds left, no foul from the Tigers, and they'll get it to O'Connor, and that'll be the end of the game.